We got our Glock 17 Gen 5, the MOS version here. Now what I've got in it here is I've got firearm is clear, no magazine, no ammo present. I've got the Apex trigger in it, the Apex Action Enhanced Trigger Kit. What I'm going to do here is I've got Johnny Glock's trigger also. So I'm going to pop this apart and I'm going to merge these two triggers together and see how that goes. I've done the trigger pull on the, so I did my trigger pull on the Glock trigger, okay? The original Glock trigger. And the trigger pull on the Glock, now I've got Johnny Glock's firing pin, put Johnny Glock's firing pin spring in here, firing pin, spring, housing, all that stuff. And I replaced this sear right here with Johnny Glock sear with a lighter spring, and we got a lighter spring on the firing pin. So that reduced the trigger pull on the Glock down to, come all the way down to 5 pounds 8 ounces, 5 pounds 8 ounces when I added that. Now, I got the Johnny Glock trigger. The Johnny Glock trigger brought the firearm's weight down to 4 pounds 11 ounces, 4 pounds 11 ounces. So I ordered the Apex trigger here, and I put it in the gun with the standard firing block from the company, from Glock, and it brought it all the way down to 4 pounds. So I got it down to 4 pounds with the Apex trigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge the Apex trigger in with Johnny's trigger and see if I can reduce trigger pull any more. This is kind of spongy a little bit as you come back with it. Johnny's trigger comes back, stops, and breaks very, very crisp. So I'm going to see if I put these two together, if the mechanism that screw Johnny Glock has on the back of his, if it'll make any difference. I should be pushing it out this way. If it'll lower my trigger pull, my trigger weight any, and if it'll get rid of that little bit of sponginess that I feel in the Apex trigger. So we pull these out, pop it up right here, pull this piece out, pull your firing, whoops, hang on now, we just want the slide release to come out, not the whole trigger. It's in there kind of tight. There we go. So slide release. Now we pull the whole housing up here. So it has, so we got the Apex trigger with the housing. We also have the Apex trigger bar, and this little piece right here came from Apex. We're going to take it out also. So Johnny Glock's trigger's here. So we are going to pull first. Let's pull Johnny Glock's front piece of his trigger. Let's take his housing piece out of here. The way you get this little piece out right here is just on this side. There's a little opening, little tiny punch. Slide it right through here. Couple little taps, get it started. All you gotta do is get it started. It comes right out. Give her a little pull. She comes right out of there. Okay. So that was the Johnny Glock one. So now we're going to take this trigger apart, slip it out. This piece goes here. Let's get the housing. Here's Johnny's housing. I'm going to set Johnny's housing there with his stuff. And we will center this up. Give us a couple little taps. So this comes right out of here. All right, the original trigger goes here with the original trigger. We got Johnny's housing. So we will slide this right back in, right where it came out. Just push it in, just sets right in. There's a little space right there between it. That's fine. So we have that part back together. Now, we're going to take the Apex trigger, and Johnny has, I don't know if you can see this right here. See the little hole right here? He's got a little screw he's inserted here, and it moves forward and backwards so you can adjust this trigger. There's a little piece you got to pin in. Drop it right down inside. Whoops, missed it. Just drop it right in there. Pull it forward. Yep, I went above it again. Come on. All right, comes in at an angle. We want to catch right inside there. And we are, alright, we are right on top of it again. So now, we have Johnny's block in the back here. We have the apex mechanism here, the apex trigger bar and trigger. So, what we do, slide it right back into the firearm. Easy. Take your time there. Make sure that's together tight. There we go. Alright. So that snaps in. Push this forward. So we got our trigger back in place. The rear mechanism's in. Put your slide back in. We got our slide back down in there. The little rail mechanism here that goes in. So we got that part in. Now, the pin that goes in the front here. There we go. We got the front pin in. Push it just a little bit. Just set it in there. Now, put our back pin in. Rear pin, make sure that's down. Snaps right down. Alright, so that's in place. Let's see if we can change the pull weight, how these parts work together. Super nice. Look at the difference here. The reset, look at the pull. There's no take up in it. No take up at all. And then it just breaks. Soon as you put pressure on it, it just breaks. Just like Johnny Glock's trigger did. Let's check the trigger weight on this one now that we've put a little Frankenstein trigger together here. We'll try to pull the same way every time. 3 pounds, 13 ounces. That's, wow. £3, 12 ounces. £3, 10 ounces for an average of 3 pounds, about 3 pounds, 12 ounces average. So we've actually reduced the trigger weight here. This is my lowest trigger weight that I've got. Man, I really like that. That feels really good. That reset is really nice. Not a lot of take up there. Very, very short. Breaks right away. Now you can adjust Johnny's trigger in the back there. So your Apex Action Enhanced Trigger Kit, trigger bar, and the little piece down the side of the trigger bar, it does fit on the Johnny Glock trigger. The enhancement he made to the back, and it takes up all the sponginess. You remember how spongy that was when we first looked at it? I put pressure on it, your wall's right there. As soon as you touch it, there it is. And then you just give it a little bit of pressure, and it just snaps. It's got a good reset. It's pushing forward, kicking back into place. Pops really easy. I really like that. I really like that a lot. I like the look of the trigger in there. I like the feel of that trigger too on the firearm. I like the way that feels. I do like the trigger pull. I'm going to have to take it and shoot it. I'm going to run down tomorrow afternoon and shoot it a little while at the range. Everything seems to be functioning just fine on it. So the trigger's not coming out, not jumping up. I'm hitting it pretty hard there. Good reset, nice trigger. Folks, remember, be safe, be a responsible gun owner, buy gun safe, gun locks, lock your gun up, don't let it fall into the hands of children, okay?